Hi guys, Howard here with a classic from the Stones, an early one, Lady Jane, which is really cool and fun to play. It's from the Aftermath album, which I think is pretty much the first Stones album where Keith and Mick established themselves as the songwriting team for the Stones, all right? So anyway, let's get right into it. I'm in standard tuning, and it's a really interesting thing to play. The chords are pretty easy. There's a couple of dominant seventh slash chords that can be a bit tricky, but I'll talk about a couple of different ways to play those. You can use your thumb as well. And but anyway, it's sort of like a constant, relaxed eighth note feel, but the picking patterns vary a bit from chord to chord, okay? So here we go. You've got an open D string and an open first E string, and you can see on the tab exactly what I'm playing. I'm doing it with strict alternate picking. But of course, if you want to mix it up a bit, feel free to do so. I like it that way. I think it sounds nice and round. And before we go any further, let's talk about that harpsichord and dulcimer bit in there. You can play that on guitar using octaves if you want to, just for fun. And you can see it on the tab, but it's played like so. And I'm using octaves to play that, obviously. If you want to hybrid pick it, you can use your pick and your finger. And if you use your pick, be sure to mute out the string in between, okay? So once again, nice and slow. And that's going on while we're playing the all right, so let's get into the rest of the tune. And as a quick note, I think I counted about 9 times for the and then we just moved to a standard D chord, right? But the picking pattern is definitely hear that open D string being hit twice. You can pick that any way you want, but the way I do it is down, down, up, down, up, 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 up. But again, as always, feel free to do what works best for you. That's always the best call, right? So then we move to the C chord, and that's really where the song kicks in. Mick starts singing, and we're on a C chord, and this picking pattern is pretty straightforward, straight through the chord and back. 2 times, right? So that's just down, 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 up, 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 up. So moving between those 2 chords, we have and then we move to G, which I'm playing like this. It's definitely an open B string, so that's probably the best way to do it, old school style. But the picking pattern, as you can see, is slightly different. Same pattern as the D, actually, but you're moving around 6 strings instead of just 4. So now we have so you can see from the G, I moved back to the D chord 1 time. Same picking pattern as before. Then we move back to the C again and play it twice, just like we did before. And then the G again, as we did before. And the D, as we did before. So let me run all of that down so that you have the order correct. And let's do it. too difficult. But then we have our first dominant seventh slash chord, which I mentioned earlier, okay? And the first one is E7 over G sharp, okay? My guess is that he probably plays it with his thumb, just like this, okay? I choose to play it like this because it's just, I don't know, it's comfortable for me, but either way is totally fine. Sometimes I do use the thumb, sometimes I don't, okay? But let's walk through the chord first so we know what it is. 4th fret on the first E string, 3rd fret on the B string, 4th fret on the G string, and then of course we have that G sharp in the bass, okay? So again, I play it like that, but feel free to use your thumb as I just did. And as you can see, the strings are picked out a little bit differently, where he swings up and hits that 6th string again. So I pick it out with down, down, up, down, up, up, down, up. One more time, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that moves from that D chord, so that can be kind of tricky to get to. Right? And then we move to an A minor and we play this. Nice little pattern. So that's like the A minor, standard A minor shape, of course. Pick down, 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 up. And then lay your pinky down on the 3rd fret on the A string and pick out the A and the D strings. And I like to do that with alternate strokes, down, up. And then take the pinky off and play the same 2 strings. So again, on the A minor, we have and then we use that dominant 7th slash chord again, but this time it's a D7 over F sharp. So you can see it's the exact same shape, but just all the way down on the 1st fret, okay? And again, you can use your thumb if you want to. The picking pattern on this is exactly the same as it was on the previous slash chord. Exactly the same strings, exactly the same picking pattern. So moving from that D to the first slash chord, the E7 over G sharp, moving then to the A minor, and then moving to the D7 over the F sharp. Let's reroute that. All right, that's what we've got there. And then, of course, we move to a G again. And again, it's a slightly different pattern. We play. So I'm moving right through the strings, down, 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 up, up, swinging all the way down to the first E string. And then we have 2 passing notes, single notes, open string, open A string to the 2nd fret. And that's going to walk us into the C chord. So we have okay, so what's happening there? One more time, nice and slow. So you can see when you hit that C chord again, it's just going through the chord and back, but not all the way to the E string this time. Down, 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 up, up, up. And then move your 2nd finger to the 2nd fret on the A string. And we play the A string and the D string. So on that C chord, we have like that. We're almost there, okay? So backing up to the G chord, we have like that, okay? And we will go through all of this again. Now we're going to use that D7 over F sharp chord again, but he hits the chord initially with an open A string. So he comes off of that C chord and he plays this. And as you can see, I did use my thumb there. It just seems like the best way to go on that particular part. So let's dial in that D7. So first, it's just a regular D7 shape without the F sharp in the bass, and he uses an open A string, which would be the 5th of the chord anyway. And I'm using down, 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 up. Then grab that F sharp note at the 2nd fret on the 6th E string and play these three notes. And you can play that down, down, up, up, or down, down, up, down, either way. And then we just park it on an A minor chord. And that is Lady Jane from the Stones, and it's just a giant loop. It repeats, it repeats, it repeats. But at the end of the song, you can add this little bit to end it, okay? You'll come off of that last A minor chord. Right? Just like you hear on the recording with that harpsichord and all of that. So what I'm doing is using octaves again, this time 7th fret on the A string, 9th fret on the G string. That's the shape. Mute out the D string in between, or if you hybrid pick, you can do it that way. But I'm sliding a whole step to the 5th fret using your first finger as the marker, then the 3rd fret, and you want to pick that, and a D chord. That's it, okay? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. An early classic from the Stones, a pretty fun one to play, and great for your picking hand, right? Really cool tune. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.